Thank you so much, Hugo. I really feel that it's a waste of time for IEB to go to court to compel UMalusi not to grant them permission to pay or to access their services without paying. We really believe that it's a matter that can be resolved just around the table. There's no need to go to court. This new policy was introduced in 2007, and therefore I don't see why UMalusi now in 2020 or 2021 still wants to deal with this matter in this fashion. Reality is that UMalusi must choose. If they want to be a private institution, it means they must pay for those services. If they want to be a public institution, also they must discuss this matter with us. They can't choose when to be a private institution and when to be a public institution. And they've been having these freebies for quite some time. Now that they've been caught, instead of acknowledging that they've been having this free right for the last 7 years or so, we are now prepared to pay for services that UMalusi is rendering on their behalf. They are rushing to court so that court can continue to protect them and give them the leeway of having these services free of charge. It can't work that way. And I really believe that they must just come back to the negotiating table and deal with this matter.
Were there no discussions before they went to court, MEC?
They were. Actually, they wrote a letter. Their CEO wrote a letter to the CEO of UMalusi, and that letter was responded to. There was a follow-up email, and there was a request for a meeting. In that meeting, IEB requested additional information, and that additional information was provided. We thought it has resolved the matter. Now in December, we're shocked to see that the IEB is rushing to court, trying to compel court to say that the UMalusi services must be free of charge to them. It can't be. You can't have a grant from government that is meant to protect township schools and rural schools be extended to schools that are rich. What doesn't make sense more is that there are clients of IEB in Namibia, there are clients of IEB in Mozambique, there are clients of IEB in Eswatini, and IEB wants taxpayers of South Africa to fund those clients in Eswatini, in Namibia and Mozambique. It can't be fair, and that is why we believe that if this matter can be, we can have a meeting to resolve this matter, and this matter can be resolved. And if you check even the amount of money that is charged by UMalusi, it's not hundreds of millions of rands. I mean, it's just hundreds of thousands of rands. We really believe that if you compare those amounts and the legal fees, it clearly shows that IEB can easily pay that bill. The problem is that IEB does not want to open up. They're an institution that is untransformed. They are an institution that does not want to publicize their financial records so that we can see whether truly they can afford or not afford. But also, it falls within the argument that we've raised before, that you can't have two examination bodies in one country. Learners that are writing IEB exams and learners that are writing government examination, they go to the same universities, they sit in the same lecture room. So there's no question of standards or question of any other thing, because all of them, they go to the same job market, they go to the same economy. So I will urge IEB that they must come back to the negotiating table and resolve this matter rather than rush to court and waste money.
Is IEB not contesting the 600% overcharge, MEC, rather than declining to pay altogether?
I'm saying they've been having a free ride for how many years? Because this policy position was formulated in 2007. We're in 2021. And for the last many years, they've been having freebies, not paying for these fees. So even if it can be the amount that they say it's too much, why not come back to the negotiating table? Why rush to court? We can have this matter resolved as quickly as possible. But the reality is, you can't have two examination boards in one country. We need one independent examination board, and we are urging the minister and also the ruling party, the African National Congress, that when it goes through its policy position, time has arrived that this misnomer must be rectified. You can't have other people writing a separate examination in one country. If there is one academic standard in the country and the highest academic standard in the country, let's adopt that highest academic standard. Because as I said, learners that are writing IEB and learners that are writing a government examination, they go to the same university. There's no university for IEB in this country. There's no university for learners that have written IEB exam. All learners sit in the same lecture rooms and are taught by the same lectures, which simply means they can write the same examination.
Well, I suppose two questions, MEC. The first is that IEB is contesting a 2015 agreement and obviously that overcharge. And the second issue is that they are a legal entity and obviously since 2007 have been operating under an agreed template, so to speak. So what would have changed at this juncture?
Exactly my point, that if they are an affiliate, remember they are accredited by UMalusi. If they are not happy with the accreditation of UMalusi, they are free to leave UMalusi if they want to. And we don't want them to, because they represent approximately 12,000 matriculants. So we don't want to frustrate the future of those children. What we are arguing is that if they want UMalusi to assess them, if they want UMalusi to provide resources to assess them, to check their readiness to write the examination, they must pay for those services. And if they feel those services are huge or the expenses are huge, they must go back to the negotiating table and resolve that argument, because there's no way that you can pay for services that you can't afford. You accept that, but you can't rush to court for a court to set a price for you. Go back to the person that you work with daily, resolve that matter, and the matter will be ventilated there. But also open up. Let's know how much you have. Let's know how much you are making. You can't say you are a not-for-profit institution when it suits you, and when it doesn't suit you, you are a private institution. Those two can't be combined. You choose one. Either you are a private institution or not.
Now in June this year, UMalusi went to the courts and obviously received a negative ruling. Your thoughts on that, MEC?
No, we really believe that the courts must be really not be abused. We really believe the court must be the last option if we have to resolve this matter. There are also mediators. We can take this matter to mediators. And there are other institutions that can resolve this matter, including the minister herself, who can resolve this matter. But before you exhaust all internal processes, you start to rush to court. It shows that it's people that don't take institutions of government serious. They really believe that they can run government through courts. And that's something that we are trying to discourage here.